up, everybody? It is your girl, Livi J, and welcome to episode 2 of Teen Talk with Livi J. Today, I have two very special people here. They are both, well, I'm not going to tell you who they are and what age and stuff that they're in because they're going to introduce themselves to you, but I'm super excited to have them. So, would you all like to introduce yourselves?
My name is Destiny Green, and I'm a freshman. I really like art. I like to draw and paint. So yeah.
My name is Caitlin. I'm 15, almost 16 though. I'm a freshman in high school as well. And in my free time, I like to watch Grey's Anatomy.
Great show. Great show.
Yes, very good show.
Okay, so we're going to start off, well, I have to tell you all what we're talking about today. So today's conversation is going to be about racial and gender inequality. As you all know, I see African American women as double minorities because when you think about it, we are. Women are seen as lesser and Black people are seen as lesser. You put those together, you have double minorities, right? That's just how I think about it, and I've completely changed that, and I took it from a double minority to, I guess we're still minorities, but I've kind of changed my perspective on who we are in that as minorities mean lesser in other people's eyes, but we're greater. That's just how I've changed it. So our perspectives are going to be kind of different from what you would see from someone else because we are seen as double minorities. So the first thing that I do want to get you all's perspective on is the Ahmad Arbery shooting. So I know I've seen the video. Caitlin has seen the video. Destiny, you have not seen the video yet. But how do you all feel about that case?
Well, personally, obviously it was unnecessary and uncalled for and just straight up racist what happened because he shouldn't have been shot for just jogging in his neighborhood because everybody should have the right to go for a jog if they want to. The biggest problem I have with the whole situation is the fact that it took everybody on social media months later talking about it and fighting for his life, essentially, for anything to happen to the two people who shot him. I don't think that us talking about it on social media should have caused him to be arrested. McMichael and his father should have been going to jail for murder since they murdered him in the beginning, February 23rd. It should have happened the day it happened instead of happening 3 months later.
I agree with Destiny, and I also view it as complete injustice because if you flip the races, let that have been a white man running and two Black men basically jumped him, they would be in prison for life on death row. So it's stuff not adding up to me. That was so uncalled for.
Right. So then you have the videos that are well, they had every right to do it because in the state has a law that if you see a crime happening, it's called a citizen's arrest. You can arrest them. And so then the videos came about that he was trespassing by law, and then you have the videos that say that he was in the house and they went in there and they said something and he started running. And then they tracked him down. My thing is, you can see all of that, but at the end of the day, you can't say that they went without the intent to kill simply because they had a hunting rifle. If they had a handgun, it would be completely different. But because it was a hunting rifle, it kind of looks like, well, you knew that if you shot him, you was going to kill him instead of hurting him. Plus, he was an unarmed man.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I just think them saying that oh, he was doing this, oh, he was doing that, they're just trying to justify their actions and make it seem like they weren't in the wrong when everybody knows that they were.
Yeah.
I agree.
My thing is, the state has a flaw because I don't believe that you should ever put a citizen in charge of arresting someone else. That citizen's arrest mess it just doesn't make sense to me because when are you allowing one citizen to have more power than another when they are conducting a citizen's arrest. That's really putting power in a citizen's hand to arrest whoever else when they think that they're doing something wrong.
I agree 100%.
Now, was it a little sketchy that when they said that when they called to him, he ran? Yeah. But also the videos, as far as I've seen, besides the one of him actually getting shot, they have no audio. So there's no telling what they said or if they pointed something at him and he started running. So at this point, I feel like the whole trial is going to be full of hearsay. And, well, I said this, and I said this, and I heard my dad say this, but Ahmad Arbery has nothing to say because he can't speak.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, you silence the victim. So this case is going to be weird because you're going to have too much of one side and not enough of the other because one side killed the other. Now, it's completely correct that it is manslaughter. The video clearly shows the dad shooting Arbery, but the court might not see it that way.
But I mean, what other way is there to see it? They should go to prison for manslaughter, for murder. Like, they literally killed somebody else. It's like no other way to see it. To me, it's very black and white. You killed somebody else, so you should have to deal with the consequences of killing somebody else.
And it's just so sad that that's the way that the system is. Like, it's so crazy. And I think it's like completely unfair. It's an injustice, basically.
So that was one of like many shootings that have happened. There's a whole list going around about it's a whole list of everyone who has gotten shot and killed. It has, men and women. How do you feel about the amount of people on that amount of our people on that list? Because it was like, I think 20 something, or probably more than that though.
It's really heartbreaking to see all of those people that got shot for simply doing nothing, basically. Like, I seen the list, it was on Instagram. One person got killed in their house. How does that happen? You're in your own house and they shot you because you're black. And then somebody else got killed because their music was too loud. But for example, let Billy go to the gas station and have his country music out loud. Is he gonna get shot for that? No, I don't think so. So I just, I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's like very heartbreaking, and it's also like you just continue to like feel enraged because like this continues to happen and nothing's happening to the officers, nothing's happening to the police stations. Nobody else is being like hurt or like reprimanded for this but us because our people are continuously dying. So
how do you feel that certain situations would have been different if it hadn't gotten out to the media? So for instance, we can use Ahmad Arbery, I think that's how you say his name. If his story hadn't gotten out to the media, although it was 3 months after he got shot, if his story hadn't gotten out to the media, how do you think this whole situation would have been different? How do you think it would have been handled?
Nothing would happen because, if they had the video, I'm sure somebody had seen the video before it got leaked to everybody else. So it's like people obviously didn't care that it happened. Like, I'm pretty sure like his family was trying to get justice, try to figure out what happened, but nobody seemed to care. It took the video being leaked and his story being put on social media for people around this country, around the world, to say something for action to be taken. So.
Okay, so we've talked about the shootings and things of that nature for African Americans. What about African Americans in a workplace? Because that's a lot of things that we don't think about. Or African Americans in school or in certain places that I guess it's not normal to see African American, because white people can't really speak to the normalities of, or what African Americans, should be normal for us, because they aren't us and they don't know. But the places that African Americans go and don't fit in, talk about those. How do you feel about African Americans going to certain places and not fitting in? Whether it be the workplace or school or a job or anything like that. Or a job interview.
I think it's like less of we don't fit in and more of like we're not accepted by society, and the fact that they continuously don't want to accept us, so they make it to be like we don't want to fit in, when in reality they just truly don't want to accept us for who we are and the way we are and the way we come. So they try to project that onto us and make us feel bad about ourselves, or make us feel like we don't belong in this society, in this world, in the workplace, in schools, etc.
I agree. But to add on to that, I feel like it comes down to like them just feeling like they're, I don't know, what's the word? Like
Superior?
entitled. Yeah, superior. Them feeling superior to us. Like, no, you should look this way because this way, that straight hair looks better on you. Blue eyes looks better on you. A lighter complexion looks better on you. And it's just like, how do you know what looks good on me? You know, it's like,
Exactly, yeah.
And I was scrolling through YouTube yesterday, kind of preparing for today, and I saw this this whole series that Steve Harvey did on his show, and I can't remember what in the world. I can't remember which episode it was or which video clip I watched, but a woman literally said that they'll racially discriminate because of the way your name looks. And when I thought about it, I was like, that is completely true, because my mom always tells me, I named you Olivia Gabrielle, because when your name goes across somebody's desk, if the first thing that they see is your name, I at least want them to put you in a consideration pile before they throw you out because you're black. I want you to get somewhat of a chance. And so, and then they made the comment, Keisha doesn't get the job before Kimberly. Which is it was kind of like, that's completely true. People who have ethnic names don't get jobs before people who don't have ethnic names. And then when you go into actual race, a white woman named Kimberly versus a black woman named Keisha, because I don't know any white Keishas. I do know some black Kimberlys, but I don't know any white Keishas. If you know one, let me know. But I don't know any, so that was kind of interesting. Now, something that I completely love that California did first about a year ago, it'll be a year on July 3rd, the Crown Act. Do you all know what that is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Creating a respectful and open world for natural hair. How do you all feel about the Crown Act? Because I know that when I saw it at first, I've always been a person to wear my hair natural because I don't really care how you think or what you think about my hair. But when I saw the Crown Act, I was like, yes, because you have all these major cities. I think Cali started it, but then you have like Maryland. They're near DC, so people who live in Maryland can work in DC. So you have this law being passed around a whole bunch of different places that are hot spots for you need to straighten your hair because of who they're around. So how do you all, when you all first found out about the Crown Act, how did you all react to it? Like,
I was like really happy because that's one step towards change, you know, because it's going to take a while for society to really just, you know, get rid of the racism, homophobia, all of that good stuff. But I was really happy because, you know, it's one step and it's so good because as Black women, it's like anything you do gets criticized. Oh, your weave is too long. You gotta take that out. Your braids, they're too frizzy. Take it out. Your afro is too big. It's too curly. it's like, so which one do you want? So I like that they did that. So it's like, can't really discriminate towards us with our hair, basically.
Yeah, I completely agree with Caitlin, and that it's like a step in the right direction. And another reason, like, I feel like this act is so powerful is because there are so many young girls that are growing up in today's society thinking that their hair isn't pretty enough, that they need to straighten their hair to be pretty, when that's not the case. But since society continuously tells them that curly hair isn't pretty, like really tight coils and curls, they're not beautiful, like don't wear your afro, etc., etc., like girls are like growing up hating their hair, and then they're wanting to always straighten it. But this act is like just gonna show them that you can wear your natural hair, you can rock your natural hair, and you can still be beautiful.
Is discriminating against hair types racism? Is hair type discrimination meaning like your curls, go straighten your hair because I can't do your afro. Your afro's too big. Your afro is unprofessional. You need to make sure that your hair is pulled back at all times. It's slick. This, that, and the third, and blah 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 about hair. Is that racist? Is discriminating against hair texture racist?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. Cause I'm sorry, but black salons, I can say this from my personal experience. They tell me they don't want to do my hair because my hair is too thick, and they're black. So I don't really think that's racism. I don't know what it is, honestly.
I mean, honestly, I don't. When it comes to I don't like your curls, it's kind of racist to me because that's a part of my race. Like my hair, when it comes out my scalp, it's 4C, it's curly. So if you think about it in that way, then yeah, it really is. But then if you look at it the way Caitlin just said it, it can't be. But
Well, I don't know. I think I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure like the definition of racism is like when you're like prejudiced to somebody else because you think your race is superior. So it's like I feel like it kind of is racism because it's like they think, oh, we're superior, so our hair is superior. So like straight hair is better than curly hair. So it's like, let me tell them they should go straighten their hair so they can be better. And then going off of what Caitlin said, I think it's just part of the society we've like grown up in, and it's like if you're continuously told the same thing about like your hair and your culture and stuff, you'll start to believe it. So it's like after so many years of being told straight hair is better, they're going to tell you, oh, your hair is too thick, oh, your hair is too curly. Not necessarily like I'm trying to be like racist to my own race, but it's more like society keeps feeding this to me, so it must be right, you know?
Mm-hmm.
that's good. So then, well, with what Caitlin said, can Black people be racist to themselves? Or I guess when you say Black people being racist to themselves, is it colorism or is it still racism?
It's more colorism.
It would be colorism.
Yeah. Because
That
racism is
light
like,
skin, dark skin thing is
racism is like
so
when you
annoying.
think your race is superior, but like white race is superior to Black race, like in the society we live in. So.
How do you all feel about colorism? Because I know we all see that mess. It's all over TikTok. It's all over Snapchat. It's all over Instagram. It's always white girls over Black girls. Like just the whole, just throw them all out. White girls over Black girls. Or it's light skins over dark skins. Or brown skins over, or light skins and brown skins over dark skins. How do you all feel about that?
It's honestly annoying and disgusting, and it gets on my nerves. Like, you should see my TikTok comments that I leave there on those videos because it's so annoying. You're separating us as women, well, young women and women, because there are young adults on the app, and it's just like those comments are like horrible. They're like, hey, light skin gang, And it's just like, no, we should be together. Nobody is better than anybody else. Period. Nobody is better than anybody else. Just period.
Yeah, I saw a video like kind of around this subject, and it was pretty much about how like our people are still like mentally enslaved from what happened during slavery times, because as most of y'all know, like the lighter you were more likely to be able to work in the house, and the darker you had to work in the field. So it's like that mentality is still in this society and within us as Black people. So not we, but like some people see like darker skin as less superior to lighter skin, when that should never be the case. Like Caitlin said, we need to come together, because in this world we are all we have, and so we can't be over here like discriminating against each other while other people are discriminating against us as well.
That's very true. Now, Caitlin, we've had this conversation. Destiny, we've probably touched somewhere close to this conversation, but we've dealt with the internal struggle. But how do you feel about the black boys only date white girls? And there's nothing wrong with you liking opposite race, because it can be the exact same way for a black girl. A black girl just favors a white boy. But when it comes to the point that you are tearing down the females of your race or of your skin color to build up one that's already oppressing us, it's different. It's completely different.
Snaps for that.
Destiny, I'm gonna let you go first, because when you finish, I'm gonna snap. So I'm gonna let you go first.
I'm gonna talk from two sides of the story real quick. So from my side as a Black woman and like in this society, I definitely feel like it's just straight up disrespectful as for a Black man to disrespect his own women. Like your mom, your sister, your aunt, your cousin, whoever, they're all Black women. How would you feel if somebody treated her like that? Like, and then when you think about it, they'll be like, oh, I'll be mad. Oh, I want to fight. Oh, I want to do this. But you're continuing to treat other Black women like that. So I don't understand how, like, they feel like that's okay. How they feel like it's okay to be like, essentially, white women are better. Like, I like white women better. They're so much better than Black women. And then also for them to say, oh, it's only preference. Oh, it's only preference. No, you're discriminating against your own race. And I don't see why they don't understand that, but for some reason they don't. And they continue to do it even though they've been called out on it multiple times. I don't understand.
Destiny, I agree with you. And before I say this, you shouldn't be like, you can like whoever you want. You can like whatever gender, race, anything you want. If they a boy and they blue, go ahead. Do you? You know, that's none of my business. But what I do have a problem with is you tearing down your own race just to please the other. Oh, I don't date Black girls because they're ghetto and their hair is nappy. And yes, I've heard somebody say that before. And it's just like, what about your mama? What about your sister?
Is your mama ghetto too?
What about your aunt? What about your grandma? Your great grandma? Your daddy? It just confuses me, because you're so quick to tear down your own race, and it's just like, what is wrong with you? Like, what's going on up here? I don't like that.
How can you hate how can you hate the woman that you came out of?
Well, I have something to say about that, because I was having this conversation with another group of my friends, and I was thinking about it, and if y'all just hear me out and really take the time to like really process it, it might make sense. So in the world we live in my opinion, Black men are like targeted the most. They're like the ones who are being dropping like flies and stuff. So like they're targeted, and then they're not loved or appreciated by the society. So if if a Black man gets with a white woman, if he marries a white woman, has mixed kids, he's like, he's seen as, better by society because, oh, you can't be like this Black because you're with the white woman. Oh, you have mixed kids. Like, when he's seen out in public, he's not seen as a Black man because he's with the white woman. So I feel like subconsciously it's kind of like, how can I make myself better to society? How can I make myself less of a threat, because that's how society sees me when I'm just a Black man by myself, or if I'm a Black man with a Black woman. But if I'm a Black man with a white woman, I'll be seen as less of a threat, and that will allow me to like be better in society. And even though like I feel like that's part of the problem, I still don't think that it makes it right for them to act that way. But I kind of understand because the way society treats them is like very heartbreaking, and it's just very heartbreaking, and they don't want to keep living like this as much as we don't want them to keep living like this. So it's like they have to do what they have to do to make life easier for themselves.
I agree, sadly, because that actually does make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, but I said before, it doesn't justify them. Like, it doesn't make it okay for you to tear out Black women. It doesn't justify it in any way, shape, or form. But it also is like, when you think about the whole picture and think about how they're looked at and treated by society, like, you kind of gain a new understanding about the topic. And it's not, you don't feel as much anger towards it, but you feel a little bit of compassion because it's like, that them walking outside, they can die.
Yeah, but so I completely understand that part, but a Black dude to like continuously pull down a Black woman, or not pull down, I don't like that word, for a Black man to continually come at Black women, and Black women are this and they're that and they're that, and that ghetto thing messes me up, because there are Black women who are not ghetto. Not all Black women are ghetto. Actually, most of us aren't. Mm-hmm. You have that select few who will bump gums and do all of this and smack their lips and run up in the baby daddy house, just setting stuff off. But that's like really a small percentage when you think about it, because most of the Black women that I know are doctors, or like my mom, she's a construction worker. They're teachers. They're church clergy, and they talk like respectable women. They don't speak like, they overpronounce words, or they're proper. Yes, they're proper. And so then it's like, are you trying to be white, little white girl? This, that, and the third. Because I mean, I've dealt with that personally. Like, you are too white. Why? Because you don't be bumping your gums. You don't. You just be like so reserved and quiet. Well, first of all, I'm not quiet. But you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure, Destiny, I know you've dealt with something like that. Caitlin, I'm not really sure.
Oh yeah, I've been told I'm the whitest person somebody ever knew. Yeah.
And then
I was like, I don't think I'm white. I think I'm Black though. But okay. Then I just walked away. I was like, you got issues, but
it's just like hard to grow up like that, because how are you supposed to be like proud of your race, proud of yourself, proud of the skin you're in, when people say that you're inferior to them, and then the people in your own race are saying, oh, you're so white, oh, you're so white. Like, how are you supposed to feel good about yourself? How are you supposed to feel confident? How are you supposed to like love yourself if you keep getting fed all these negative things about you personally, and then about your race as well? It's like you kind of like at a crossroads of like, who loves me? Like, where am I supposed to fit in? Like, I have no place in this society. I have no place in this world.
That's very true. Okay, so do you all believe that you can be racially biased without knowing it?
Yes.
Yes.
Personally, I believe everybody is. Because, I mean, I've never been outside this country, and I know most people have never been to like other countries like India, Asia, India, China, Japan, countries in Europe, and it's like we judge them based off of what we've learned in America, yet we've never talked to anybody from those countries, yet we've never been to those countries. So it's like, how do we know what we know about them? Those countries are really true. So it's like, I think everybody like just is like, yeah, unconsciously biased just because we truly don't know anything. We truly don't know anything about those other cultures and other races in other countries. So
that whole I was watching a YouTube video yesterday. All the YouTube videos that I watched, I'm just gonna link them down below. But I was watching another YouTube video yesterday, and the girl started talking about how she had friends who were El Salvadorian. I think that's what it is. That's what it should be. Yeah, or no, they were Ecuadorian, I believe, and they're not considered Mexican, or they're not Mexicans. But people were talking about their parents. They only ate tacos and this, that, and the third, and blah 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 because they were Ecuadorian, and that was kind of like, you're being racist and you don't even notice that that's mad racist because you're completely basing. It's like a white person coming up to us and saying, your shirt is
watermelon.
cotton. You eat watermelon. You
Right.
made your own shirt because your shirt is cotton. Like,
yeah, that's like something that Americans do a lot. It's like they associate everybody who like from Latin America or Hispanic descent, oh, they're all Mexican, or everybody from the country of Asia, oh, they're all Chinese. And it's like, no, there's multiple countries in both places, and it's like not fair for anybody to like to put them all into one category, to put them all into one group, because they all come from different lives, they come from different backgrounds, and they come from different cultures, and we should have to respect that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that racism and racial bias, even if it's an implicit bias, do you believe that it can be taught?
Yes. I'm sorry, but it can be taught.
I mean, I believe that sometimes you're born, and there was also a study that I watched, and it was babies, and the babies, they had two different rabbit puppet things, and so if it was a baby who liked graham crackers, one of the rabbit puppet things ate graham crackers and they liked it, but the other one didn't eat graham crackers because they didn't want it. And then the baby chose the one that ate what they wanted. Do you believe that you can be born with a sense of preference, or can you be born with a sense of bias?
Born with, I don't know about that. I personally think it's just taught, and it may not be like explicitly taught, like, oh, don't do this, don't like these people, don't like. I don't think it's like that, but I think it's just like the way they're brought up, like how their parents act around certain people, how like their family members act around certain people, and then just like the society they grow up in. Because it's like growing up in the South is way different from growing up in the North, which is way different from growing up on the West Coast. So it's like just the society you're in and the people you're around like really influence how you live your day-to-day life.
Yeah. Caitlin, anything to add? No? Dang.
Sometimes it can be explicitly taught. Like in the South, for example, I feel like they make it known not to like Black people, with their houses all flagged up with Confederate flags, And then the discussions that I'm pretty sure they have within their household is basically saying, you better not be friends with a Black person, you better not date a Black girl. It's like stuff like that. I feel like it can be explicitly taught.
I do agree with Caitlin, because I feel like just like in the society we live in, like here in like this country, it's more like Black versus white. And I do feel like some white households do teach like don't like Black people, don't trust Black people, etc. But also like when you're thinking about different races and different cultures that are also in America, I feel like us as Black people can also be implicitly, not implicitly biased. What did you say? Unintentionally biased to other cultures and other races, just because like we don't know enough about them and we try to speak on it even though we don't completely understand.
So do you feel like racial bias can be groomed on either side? So do you feel like a race? Okay, so for instance, me, because why not? So me, I believe that you can teach racial bias on both sides, on the black side and the white side, because you can teach a Black child to fear a white person, but the thing is, you don't have to fear every white person. Like, we've all had the same principal. My principal is white. Shout out to Dr. Lee, bomb.com. But y'all know my principal is white, and if I went around completely thinking that all white people are evil, then I wouldn't be able to navigate through my 4 years at Allen J, because I'm sitting there thinking he's evil when he's really a really cool dude. But just like that, white people can be taught the same thing. All Black people steal. All Black people eat watermelon and fried chicken and collard and cornbread and pick cotton. Like, you know what I'm saying? Can racial bias be groomed on either side? Can it be groomed on Black people always be scared of white people, or white people always be scared of for their life when it comes to being around thugs or Black people because they think that we're thugs? You know what I'm saying?
It most definitely can. And yeah, it can.
Yeah, I also think that it can be taught on both sides, and it's just like maybe you like, because obviously when you're younger you don't completely understand, your parents might not talk to you about it, but I think you can still tell by like just the way your parents act, just like you said, like if this white family thinks that all Black people are thugs, so when they come around a Black person they act more standoffish, they try to hold their stuff closer. Like, kids pick up on stuff like that, and then they'll think, okay, when I'm around a Black person I'm gonna have to do this. And then the same way with white people, like if a Black person acts a certain way when they're around a white person, their kids will pick up on it and think, oh, maybe I have to do this when I'm around a white person. So it's just like little things like that make people unintentionally biased and act different around different races, just because of the way that this society is and the way that they grew up.
So what do you think makes people racist or racially biased, or what do you think makes people racist? Like, not just you were taught to be racist, but why do you think people are intentionally racist and intentionally demeaning to other races?
I think it comes down to where it could come down to two things. It can be, an experience they had, or their parents or grandparents or elder figures in their life teaching them that from an early age. Because as kids, we're like sponges. So it's like we soak in everything and we take that with us until somebody tells us, hey, no, that's wrong. So, but when it comes down to the experience, it can be anything. A Black person stole something from you, or an Asian person stole something from you. And if you're that type of person that holds grudges, you're gonna be like, oh, I don't like Black people, I don't like Asian people, I don't like Latinos because of that experience. But when you're taught it, it's just from an early age, that's what you're around. You're around the hate. You're around all of that negative energy. So it's like that's all you know. So of course that's what you're gonna be used to, and that's what you're gonna carry through life.
Yeah, I completely agree with what Caitlin said. And it's just like this country is just surrounded by hatred, it's surrounded by racism. So it's like you grow up in this country, you may not realize it at first, but like the older you get, the more you'll realize that like racism is essentially everywhere in like every part of the society, between schools to the justice system to healthcare system. Like racism is everywhere, and this is just like the society that we have to grow up in, unfortunately. So it's just racism is just taught because of the way the society is.
So let me tell you how I compare everything to growing a carrot. You ready? So if you have a carrot seed, all carrot seeds in the pack should be the same. They're all untreated. They all come from not the same exact carrot. Or do carrot seeds come from carrot?
Okay, start over. Just start
We
over.
get it. Yeah.
Okay, so when I compared it to a carrot, I thought, so you grow carrots using carrot seeds. So you have carrot seeds, and when they're in the pack, they came from the same pack. So that means that they were all treated the same in the plant when they packaged it, and they're all technically the same. And I compared those to the innocence of a child before they're being taught racism. If you take that carrot seed and you put it in bad soil, what are you going to reap? A bad carrot. If you take that child who is completely clean and innocent and you continue to put it in racist environments, and you continue to show them around, you continue to put people around them that are racially biased or racist or prejudiced and things of that nature, then what are you going to get from it? A racist tail baby carrot. Or not baby carrot, but not baby carrot, but you're going to get a racist child. Where if you take this pure carrot and you plant it in good soil, or you plant it in non-racist soil, then what's going to stem from it? A non-racist child and you make sure that the child is aware and things of that nature, then a non-racist child who is aware of everything that goes on stems from that soil. Does that make sense?
I agree.
Based on racism that you've seen. So like I know for instance if have y'all watched All American?
Mm-mm.
No?
You have oh my gosh, because I wanted to talk about it too.
Oh yeah, I was so ready to talk about it.
Because I was thinking about it. Oh my gosh. Caitlin, will you be mad if it gets okay? You know, we really do have to talk about it. I'm not gonna say names or nothing, but it has to be talked about.
Nothing was truly spoiled in the making of this Zoomcast, but if you have not seen All American, please go watch it.
Are we talking about the healthcare part? Same part?
Yeah.
Okay. It's just this one scenario that happened that's like really important, and it's like a great representation of what happens in today's society that many people don't know about, that people don't realize. And like some people watching the show, it might have went over their head, but when I was watching it, I was like, that's definitely how the healthcare system works in this country. But go ahead, you can ask your question.
Well, we were going to talk about that specific scene. Basically, a character in the series gets shot, and automatically he gets shot in Beverly Hills coming out of a cotillion. But because he's black, they automatically, when they took him to the hospital, they didn't really care. They weren't taking the best care of him, but there was one nurse who insisted on certain things because she was like, you're going to let this black man die, and it's going to be on y'all because you have ways to save him, but you're not doing it because you don't believe that you should waste it on him. And then the officer was asking the person who was with the person who got shot, well, was he in the gang? Was he in the gang? Did he hurt you? What were y'all doing over there? Was this basically just asking like mad racist questions about why he would have gotten shot?
Mm-hmm.
When we don't even really know who shot him.
Yeah. And what I would like to say about that is like the part about the person when they got shot and they were rushed to the hospital. I just want to like kind of explain that more because some people, I don't think everybody understands like what happens. So he was rushed to the hospital and he needed to get like, there was a gunshot wound, like a bullet in somebody's body. He needed to get medication and a blood transfusion because like he was bleeding out. And so the other doctors were like, oh, I'm going to run a test to see if he's on anything, assuming that he's on drugs because he's Black. So I'm going to run a test to see if he's on anything, knowing the test will take longer than the person really has to live. So it's like, oh, I'm running a test. So I'm running a test that's going to prolong his time without any care, and then he's going to die. So, and then the other thing that happened is one of the doctors were like, we need to get a blood transfusion. And the other lady was like, no, we can't waste blood on him. And the thing that stood out to me that the Black nurse said was, it's not a waste if we're saving somebody's life. And the sad thing is that we live in a society where they think, oh, if I do something to help a Black person, it's a waste. No, if I'm supposed to be a doctor and I'm supposed to be helping save somebody's life, it's never a waste, no matter what background they come from, no matter what they did. My job is to save somebody else's life and to do everything that I can to help that person. So me giving them a blood transfusion, me giving them medication, me doing this, me doing that is not a waste. It's saving somebody else's life. And the fact that we live in a society where the healthcare system thinks that, oh, if they're a Black person, they don't deserve it, or oh, if they're of this race, or oh, if they're of this ethnicity, or oh, if they did this, they don't deserve help and care, is just so disgusting to me.
Yeah. And then after that, when everything finally died down and he got what he needed, when the surgeon came in and talked to him about, you got two choices, either leave the bullet in or take the bullet out. Which one would you rather do? When the nurse came in to talk, she then started praising him, and they were confused because she was like, this is so-and-so, he goes to Beverly High, and he's a football player, he's a star football player, and this, that, and the third, and he's a promising NFL prospect. I don't know if she really said that, but like, she was basically hyping him up. And the white doctor, who was like, forget his life, was kind of looking like, I just thought he was another gangster.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it was kind of like, haha, you thought because you let previous things cloud your judgment, and if you let dude die, you'd have a whole bunch of mess on your hands, not only because he is from somewhere where they don't take that lightly, but also because he is a promising ball player. And it's like, you took a promising ball player's life because you didn't care, because you thought he was a thug.
Yep. And I think, okay, so the doctor did that, and I think the other nurse, was she a person of color? I feel like she was. She seemed to be of like, maybe
Middle Eastern.
I don't want to like judge, like assume or anything, but to me, she seemed to be a person of color, of like, yeah, maybe Middle Eastern or Asian descent or something like that.
She could have been a tan white person too.
Yeah, she could have. But also, I don't know. But the fact that she was just like kind of like going along with it and like, oh yeah, maybe we should just wait, da da da. It's just like the implicit bias like within the society that people think, oh yeah, maybe you're right, maybe we shouldn't help him, maybe we should just wait, maybe like, that's just really sad, because it's like people who you would think normally wouldn't act like that, or people who you would think will like want to stand up and help people of color as well, they don't, because of the society that we live in and the implicit bias that is like just running rampage in the society, that people think, oh, maybe they don't deserve the help, or maybe they don't deserve to get the best care, or maybe they don't deserve to be treated fairly.